We're not gonna mess around too much. I kind of just want to get into the video game. But hello, friends. It's a blasphemous day. Today we're committing some blasphemy. No, I was hoping to be able to get this game done last week. However, felt like garbage last week. And things came up. I can't even tell you what happened because I don't remember anymore. Hi Nem. But I did buy the second one. I purchased Blasphemous 2. Full transparency there. I bought it, and I might have gone a little hog wild this weekend playing Blasphemous 2. We will still do that on stream at some point, because it's very good. But it won't be my first time through. I'll at least have a general idea of what's happening. But before we get there, I do want to finish the first one, because I'm hell-bent on getting that ending C. But how are y'all doing? How's it going? Yeah, and like I said, I was planning on finishing this last week so that we could, have it done in time for Blasphemous 2, for when I purchased Blasphemous 2, but that just didn't happen because things happened this last week. It's fine. Don't worry about it. That's just how it goes nowadays. But yeah, I'm excited to do this. I don't know if we'll finish it today. There's a possibility. There is a chance that we could get through the last of everything that we need to do today. But it'll likely be 2 more sessions. Probably. But we'll see. Let me get Bloodborne music out of here first off. Hey, OBS, do you want to capture the game? Thank you. Good job, buddy. Yeah, this is possibly the run. We'll see. Like I said, it's well within the realm of possibility. However, with as much Blasphemous 2 as I have been playing this weekend, and the changes that they've made to things that you can do, there's a large possibility that I'm gonna die a lot, which will make things a little more complicated for us. What the fuck were we doing? We are nearing the top of the Archcathedral, so we're close to Chrysanthus, the fight with Chrysanthus, so we don't want to do that. That's a bad thing. Don't do that yet, at least. Oh god, I have to remember all of the controls. They added this really great feature in the second one called a double jump. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's this new thing that they're implementing in some games. Real neat. That is going to fuck me up. Also an air dash. A proper air dash now. So that's really cool and really exciting, but will make it more difficult for me to do anything? Because... Oh god, that's there, isn't it? Hold on. Did we finish those? Hold up. Did we do Miriam's stuff? No. Is that the one that I need to do, though? It's fine. It's fine! We can recover from this. Oh, thank goodness. Past me decided to keep the golden linen equipped, because that would have been embarrassing. This kind of works, though. Alright. So yeah, we're off to a great start already. Oh boy, did they smooth out the second one. It runs real nice. I don't have the prayer that can take me back to the last preview that we went to. That's fine. I'm gonna have to climb the tower. That's not as fun. I am very sad about that, actually. Oh boy. We also need to find the last of the flasks, because I would like to start upgrading those, yesterday. Cause, oh boy, having to chug 3 of these bad boys just to get up to not even full health. Not what I enjoy doing. Ever. Okay. Okay. Alright. No! Okay, well, we missed that one. That's fine. Please stop hitting me! Are we... I'm gonna be very sad when I find out that this is not the speedrun section that we have to do. You can't hit me while I'm jumping. I can't even get up this way! Okay, you know what? It's fine. We wanted to die there. Cause then we didn't have to go all the way back, is the thing. They also fixed in the second one, when you have a controller connected, you don't have to use the mouse to click the screen. When they say to hit any button, what they really mean is, I need to be on the other side, don't I? When they say any button, what they really mean is they want you to click, which is very annoying when you're using a controller and not a mouse and keyboard to play. Oh god, this is the one. This should be the last one, though. And then that should be all of Arch Cathedral done, aside from Chrysanthus. We have the last little bit of Mother of Mothers to do. We've got all of Salt and Havoc. Echoes of Salt, excuse me. To do. Got some sleeping canvases. We got a lot to address. Alright. Alright. We can do this. Are we ready for the horrible, awful time trials? So make sure I remember how to do literally anything. Oh, wait! This is what we were doing last time! And I quit! Because I got annoyed! I remember! Oh! Fuck! Okay. Alright. Hold on. Sorry, my microphone is peaking because it is too close to me screaming. Oof. Alright, we have to wait here for like 20 seconds before we can die. Alright, alright. This is really gonna test our patience, huh? You know what? It's fine. We're gonna do great. We're gonna get through it. It's not even an issue. Still complain about these levels being far too long, but it is what it is. I'm pretty sure this is the last one. God, I hope this is the last one. I'm like 85% sure. Nope. We'll say 70% sure. It's fine. Wait, jump, and then duck, and then get the fuck out of there. Fuck. Right. Nope. 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 Just can't recover from that. I can drop all the way down, though, I think. There should be a platform there. I need to get past the third pendulum, I believe. You know what? We got this. It's gonna be fine. And you know what? No, I have to do it. I was gonna say, we don't have to do it. We can just leave if I get too annoyed about it, but no, we've come this far. I have to finish it now. There's no option to quit these horrible bits. We must do So, you know, got that to look forward to. I can just drop here. Yeah. Yeah. Nope. This is fine. We're doing great, actually. I just wish I didn't have to wait, like, forever over here. We got here at 31, right? And then it doesn't go until, like, 15 or so. No, it goes at 12. Okay, so it is like a solid, nearly a solid 20 seconds before anything activates. From the time that we get there, that is. I'm not... Hey, game? I don't know if you know this, but I wasn't on the spikes. You even animated it so that I wasn't on the spikes. Okay, okay. Alright, look here. We're doing great so far. I probably should have taken a little more time to cool down before starting. Yeah, okay, to be fair, we were on the spike. Where are the spikes, game? What the fuck? You're not doing yourself any favors, friend. I need the man to grab the ladder. Here's the thing, I'm hitting up, and I'm hitting up on the D-pad, not with the analog stick. I've learned my lesson. And he's still not grabbing? So when I say I've learned my lesson, I think it's more that the game is just being rude for no reason. That, I just didn't move that time. It's fine. We're doing great. It's fine. It's fine. This would be a lot less annoying if I could just move. And I didn't have to waste so much of my and your time by just sitting here on this ladder. And you could argue that maybe I should go through the rest of the level like they intended me to. If that were the case, why would they put that hole there for me to jump down? And why would I risk dying at that earlier section? When... Okay, alright. When I could... Nope, it is directly down. I see. I understand. I thought it was further to the right. No, it's directly down. That one's fine. I'm fine with that one. That's still a part of the level that we're testing out, because I have forgotten everything since last week. Yeah, that was our recon run. We were just feeling it out, seeing what was there. That one I'm cool with. Not mad about dying there. It's important to know the lay of the land before you really commit to a run. So these are all test runs until we get it, in which case that was the run that I was intending to win. You know how it goes, right? That being said, they've, like, significantly improved, like, all aspects. I thought I got by the spikes again. And we go directly down. And then I duck, so I don't get fucked. And I jump. I could have jumped earlier, I remember. Why was I there? I'm so glad they added a double jump, and that you don't have to do any of this, like, lantern hopping nonsense anymore. The mid-air dash, also real solid. Honestly, the only thing that I don't like about the second one thus far, is like, how they've decided to animate the, like, cutscenes in the middle anymore. For the animations, it is, like, I don't want to say hand-drawn, because that implies that pixel art isn't. But it is more like cartoony, as opposed to the pixel art, and I think that does it a disservice. I think it looks better, as pixels. But, like, that's so secondary to, like, everything else that it's fine. It's not like the gameplay, which is incredibly tight. Why did you hit upwards? I only hit square once, game. Alright. We got... It's fine. Time trial madness is setting in a little bit. But it's fine, I'm sure. But yeah, that's like my only complaint about the second one thus far. It's still gorgeous. It's animated beautifully, and like the stills and stuff are gorgeous, but it's so jarring compared to the rest of the art style. That it's like a little desynchronized for me. Simu!
Simaway is raiding with a party
Simaway?
of 3. Kaysh and the gang welcome you.
Hi, friend. How's it going? How are you doing? Oh, God. Okay, that's fine. Welcome in! I would stop and say hello a little better than I currently am, but we are doing time trials at the moment. And they're not going great, if we're being honest. Why is he attacking upwards? Okay, well now that I've died, let me get a shout out for you. What were you doing? Hi, how's it going? Cat, go away. Get away from me. Revita? What is this? Tell me all about it. But yeah, welcome in, Simu and friends. We're playing Blasphemous. It's great. It's a great little game. Ah! Okay, I just didn't grab the ladder that time. I just said no thank you. I don't know that I can be fucked to do all of this, honestly. I know I said that I wouldn't be able to quit, because this is, I think, the last one. But also consider, what if I never came back here again? Because these are horrible and I hate them. But yeah, I hope stream went well. It's nice to see you. Was last week your last official work week? You don't gotta tell me now if you don't wanna, but I was just curious. Because I want to celebrate with you if that's the case. But also, what is time? Nice! I'm so happy for you, like, genuinely. That's delightful. Oh god. This is not a great place for me to stop. It's done forever and you're never going back. Perfect. We love to hear it. See, I can jump there early. Okay, alright. And then we can just make our way across this way. And we can do this. Oh god, and then I have to wiggle between everything. And it's very difficult, and I'm liable to die. It's fine, I'm sure. Please? Okay, we're just gonna not heal up. We're gonna heal now. I lied? I lied when I said I wasn't gonna heal. Do and eat! It's important that you eat food, and I'm here for it. Fucking hell. Okay, it's fine. Oh my god. Sorry. Everything is trying to kill me, and I'm not happy about that. I would like to not be getting murdered anymore. Thank you. You motherfucking dumbass. Okay. Reminder, in case you don't know, this is an 18+ space, because I curse a lot. Especially when I'm doing horrible time trials. Got so far that time. Okay. We'll just stay here for another 14 seconds, have a nice little Little sip of our water. Consider the choices in our life that brought us to this moment. Had enough time to relax? Great. Well, time to do things again. Okay. Alright. I don't care if I got hit there. That's fine. Decided it was gonna move that time. Despite the fact that I think my timing was the same as before. It might not have been. Maybe healing there was a bad choice, actually. Even though I thought I was basing it on the movements of the pendulums. It's fine. I love it when I die, actually. It's my favorite thing in the world. Am I convincing you? Are you convinced? Similar to last time. We'll probably only try once or twice more. Perfect. Good. Great. I'm doing my job then. No, we'll probably only try a couple of times. A few more times, I should say. Because I genuinely can't be fucked to do this. I can't do this if the man is going to make choices on his own. I hit square once. And he decided that he wants to attack upwards instead of grabbing the ledge. But I can't not hit upwards because I can't. Oh, fuck off. I can't be assured that he will grab the ledge on his own, which is something they addressed in the new one, which is great. At times, it is a little annoying. At other times, when you're just trying to throw yourself off a cliff and the man is like, no! And you're like, Penitent One, listen, trust me. We're just going down, buddy. There is solid floor under you. And he's just like, no! I grab ledge. And it's a little annoying at times. But you know what? I'd rather him consistently grab the edge than this middle of the road bullshit of, I just didn't feel like it this time. Maybe the Penitent One is a bad guy, actually. Have we considered? Please attack the thing. Okay. You know what? That's fine. We can get hit there every so often. We don't mind that. I'm gonna heal up here before we go, because we have plenty of time to do that. You're convinced that you didn't even hear it? Again, perfect. You love to see it. You stop. You have to stop hitting me. You have to stop hitting me. This is illegal. You have to stop hitting me. I am nice. This is horrible. Okay, let me just smash these on my face as fast as I can. No, where are you going? What? Ah! Sorry. I hate those so much. What a great way to start everything off. No, again, if I can't get it in the next couple of tries, we're gonna stop, and we're gonna go, because honestly, Miriam can eat my whole nutsack for all I care. Thank you for the hydrate. I just, you know, she can fuck off to her own bad video game. Get out of here. Stop making my video game bad. There, I said it. It was fine. There were just some very annoying parts in Bloodstained that I just didn't care for. Okay, go away. Whee! No, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I jump? Because I've gone crazy. Because I've gone crazy and I'm overthinking all of this now. Is why. Thank you, Saimu, for the bubble. Is this what you like? Is this what you enjoy? Me screaming absolute nonsense? While the video game kills me over and over and over again? I should play Bloodborne again. You know what? Fair enough. Generally, I enjoyed as well. This one, not so much. Just the rest of the game is so dang good! And then they had to do these! And they're bad, is the thing. These are not good. Okay, so man just grabs that ledge all of the time, even though I'm not telling him to. So that's cool. Why did you stand up? Why are you standing up, you fool? No, no. Ugh. Okay, I don't know what that noise was. I'm sorry. This is gonna be the last try. I am upsetty spaghetti right now. And they're dumb and stupid, and I've done it the once. I've successfully cleared these at least once. I think there was an achievement for it. I think I got it. And honestly, that's all that matters to me. This was all just, like, purely to be like, oh yeah, look at how cool I am, and this is just miserable and horrible. And it's bad. That's my final verdict on this portion of the DLC for Blasphemous. It's just bad. I don't like it. So thanks for listening to me talk about that. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Oh, I thought I was gonna fall and die. Why? 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 Why did he hit that downwards? I like doing casual speed runs. For some things. I'm very particular about the things that I will speed run. But like I know I keep referring to this as a speed run, but I wouldn't even call it a speed run. It's a time trial, and it's a poorly designed one at that. Because as I have complained before, nothing is activated at the time, or like at the start of the level. Idiot man. Sorry, I love that guy just falls off the ledge. I can still hear him running though. Which is a whole thing. Excuse me, I just got here. Excuse me, I just got here. But it's like, fortunately it is optional, but there have been plenty of games that, like, you know, force you, to... Sorry, looking. Did we get all of... Have we gotten all of the guilt statues? I guess there's a better way to check that. There are lots of games that will, like, force you to do, like, speed runs as the main, like, as a required goal, and I think that's stupid. Like, I think that's dumb, and should not be required at all. Okay, I don't want to go up more, is the thing. So what we want to do is teleport elsewhere. Probably to the Library of Negated Words and finish looking through the Mother of Mothers? What boss am I missing? Hall of Dawning we can't access until New Game Plus. And I'm working on that on my other run. I haven't gotten anywhere near to doing that. in my other run, but you know. Echoes Assault, still haven't finished that. We can't do that until we get through the Mourning and Havoc. Sleeping Canvases we could probably do, though. We need to finish the Desecrated Cistern, but I don't have the nail? Wait, we do have... Okay, we've got the Marks of the Refuge. So we can go back to Lady in Mother of Mothers. You stupid bitch. You dumb fuck. Okay, well, you know, this is one way to get where we need to go. Is she here? I think she's there. Okay, so this wasn't as bad as it could have been. You know, that could have been worse. Again, just very glad that I have the golden linen equipped at the moment. I can grab our guilt fragment over here. Great. And then there should just be that one left, which honestly we might just say fuck it and leave it there, because I don't want to have to deal with climbing up to get it. So let's go down. Yeah, we are missing one mask thing. Yeah, I can't offer anything. That's fine. We don't want to offer anything because I don't want to get up to Chrysanthus. Because as soon as we do, Chrysanthos, the lady, the second to last boss, we don't want to get to her because if we do, then we've locked ourselves out of Ending C, which is not what we want. Because that's the ending we want. And I'm not gonna do all this extra nonsense for nothing again. This is not where I want to be. Well, no, we can come back here. Is she in here? She's in here. Poor lady. I'm gonna make an offering. Give her that second mark of the refuge. And make that offering. Oh, she's fine, actually.
The lady. 3 penitents that communed with the miracle clamored for her refuge and protection. Those souls for which she suffered have already departed to the other side of the dream.
Yeah, about that.
Has the holy commandment of my lady finished? Penitent one, whom shall I watch over now? The lady, 3 penitents, also as the penitent. Okay.
That is different from the last time. I gave her one of the marks and then I fucking killed her. Because I was like, that is no way to live. And I don't want to say that was a bad choice. I don't think it was a bad choice, but, you know, Cleophas there kind of approved. He was like, oh, well, you know, she's not suffering anymore. I was like, yeah. Yeah, buddy, because she was kind of suffering, is the thing. It was bad, is the long and short of it. Can you stop? Thank you. Yeah, you go over there. Didn't want to come down here. We did get a femur. We got a bone for our troubles, so not too mad about it. I should probably have killed those guys just to get their tears. It's fine. Akos! How is it going? How are you doing? We need to go to the balcony, because I think that's where Cleophas is going to show up next. This is where we killed Skeleton Man. There's a Skeleton Man. Skeleton boss in the second game. And he's a lot less cool than this guy, than the Archbishop. And it's tragic, really. That is going good. I'm doing alright. Slowly losing our mind playing Blasphemous, but you know, I'm missing 8 babies as well. Sorry, I thought that said I had all of them, and that is not the case. Cleophas, how's it going?
I have held vigil by her side for years.
But yeah, I'm doing good.
I have borne witness to each and every one of her sufferings, her lamentations, and her wounds, which would heal only to bleed again in an endless ordeal. Yeah,
bud, she was not good.
Now she shall lament no more.
Thank God.
I have held I have borne now.
Okay. We need to go back to the patio. Best way to get there? I don't think I can get through the Wall of Holy Prohibitions at the moment. I don't think I have the key. No. That's... I don't know that I need the key. There's a key to, like, unlock a lot of other sections there. Sounds good! Get some good sleep! Thanks for stopping in and saying hi! It's nice to see ya. Even if for a short moment. Good night, Akos. Yeah, I don't think we need... There should be, like, a key of the Inquisitor, I think, that you can purchase from Lady. This is not where I want to be. How do I go up? Am I a fool? No, I was just impatient. And I think that gets you a bunch of extra stuff there, which I want to get, but I don't remember where... Candelara? Lady who sells you things. Merchant ma'am? I don't remember where she is. Where, like, which instance of her sells that. So worst comes to worst, we'll look it up in a bit. But I don't think we need that to get the key that we need to unlock the rest of the area. Oh, fuck. It's fine. Okay. It is bad here. Sir, please. Donger brother. You have to stop doing this. Okay. Handled. Did we fight the guys that were over here, actually? I remember no, we must have, because I've been to... because we've been to the jail area. I'm gonna talk to her just to make sure we have, because we're still working on that achievement. Oh, hiccups. Oh, jeez. Sorry. It's far too bright in here. Okay. Glad that those guys only take, like, one hit. Let's go down. That is a door we can open. And you should be a key? You're an Ulna. Ah! You're a key. Key of the Secular. Great. Right, it should be all these bronze doors. guys to stop honking at me. Listen, I'm not their captor. I will end them, though. We will want to come back through here eventually, to unlock all that stuff. But for now, we're just gonna quickly kind of pass through. I don't know that I want to do the fight with the man. Oh, right, we still have that chalice that we're trying to fill, right? Okay, okay. Cool, 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 cool. Well, we can die. It doesn't want us to. But we can. In order to... Right, I don't have the key of the scribe. There were words happening, and I forgot what they were. It's fine. Chalice, right. I need to kill... Well, we've killed a lion man. Key of the scribe got. And then we need to kill one of the big rock ladies. Giant rock lady with the hammer. And we need to kill one of the minotaurs, I believe. So let's just go ahead and drop down here. Scoot on over here. Get on over here. Excuse you. Rude. What are you? Okay, well, we are getting lots of bones, which is another thing that we needed. We needed to check the kneecap, femur, and tibia of some dudes in order to figure out a solution to a puzzle, I believe. Lung of Dolphus. A lung. Out of here. Baby free. Free baby. Hey, free baby! Where's the next? Stop honking! I think that was everything here. There weren't any other doors that we need to unlock. I think we've gotten everything. A game I jumped! I don't know what more you want from me. What's through here? Just a couple of these guys. That is a door that we can't unlock just yet. Up we go. Unlock this. Alright, those guys, get out of here. Get out of here. Look, you can't take up the whole space? Alright, get that guy out of here. Fuck, right, okay. Well, did that wrong. I understand what I'm supposed to do. I'm just doing it bad. Alright. Let's go back up. Let's get through here real quick. Just heal to be safe. I really want those Quicksilver upgrades. I would like to be able to heal for more than, like, nothing. Ugh. And then we go back up. And then we go through here. And then we pick up this item, which is Sphere of the Sacred Smoke. What do you do? Miraculously influence, or its miraculous influence fills the bioplastic after some attacks, but it doesn't do it often. Useless. Hate it. Don't need it. Get it out of here. Fuck. Okay. Ugh. Are you... anything? Nothing? Oh, I know what that is. If you... okay, so I guess if you kill the lady who was suffering, you end her suffering, Cleophas will end up in there, and that's when you can release him. No, get away from me. Ugh. Ugh. You know what? It's fine. Okay, I know where we are. I know what we need to do. I know where we need to go. Stupid ladies. We need to go through here. Why'd everything shake? I wonder. No, grab the ladder, you absolute maniac! Well, don't grab the ladder when the ladies are standing on you! I'm gonna fucking die! Never mind. It's fine, actually. Holy shit. Okay. Is there... why was everything shaking over there, actually?
Those screams filled my soul with fright. Thou hast purged my fears and helped this poor pilgrim again. We have chosen different roads, but still, absolution
Have I done this
awaits
right?
at the end of the path for thee and this sinner. Wherever it is, near or far, in this life or on the other side of the dream, merciful be the heart, penitent one.
We got the big toe made of limestone.
It is of little use for me to remain.
I don't think I did that right. Fuck! Well, Redento's gone now. Basically, if you finish Cleophas's quest line, which I guess I didn't, he'll jump off the tower, and if you do that before Redento walks through, then you get an achievement. But I guess I fucked that up. Come here, buddy. Tragic. It's not. We don't like it when Cleophas dies, but, you know, this is the price we have to pay for achievement hunting. Or in this case, I guess we don't, because I fucked it up, but hey. Bruh. Where the fuck is he? Where did he go? But I got some words. Okay. Well, he jumped, but he did it too fucking late. Why didn't it happen beforehand? Okay. Well, I have a better idea of how to do that next time I play, I guess. Alright, where to next? I could finish that horrible hallway that I hate. What do we need? What do we have left to do? That's the real question. We still need to find all the flasks, right? How many do we have? 7? So we're missing 3? Hold on, sorry. Where is Candelaria located in general? She's got three locations, right? Sleeping Canvases, Oops, Mercy Dreams, and Graveyard of the Peaks. Which ones have we done? I'm pretty sure we've gotten the Graveyard Peaks one, because she should be here. And I'm pretty sure we bought everything, because I think that's where we can get the bandages for Hair Egg. Which, again, very normal thing to be saying. The other one... looking at things, and of course every time I tab out, there's no sound. Sleeping Canvases? Should be... That's the one that we're missing. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. I don't need to know her specific location anymore. I just need to know that that's where she is going to be. So I guess we can go down to the Sleeping Canvases, right? Still have some things to get in the Library of the Negated Words. We might... Nah, we'll probably just go straight down. Okay. Okay. But on our way down, we do need to get as many Tears of Atonement as possible, because I think she, like, extorts us, essentially. She charges too much! Too dang much! But I think we can also probably finish up the Chalice quest. And get that. So that'll be nice. Don't put a baby marker there. There's no baby here. What are you talking about? There's no baby here. Again, with equipping Shroud. I think we've talked to every corpse that we've come across thus far. But I just want to be certain. Okay, don't touch their papers. They hate that, actually. We need to go this way. Have we gotten all of the wax, by the way? Is that a thing? No, we're missing some blue wax. Right. Okay, I remember. Head on down. We've gotten the baby that was up there. Don't need to worry about that. I think I can drop down. No, we've already dropped down there. Okay, so we don't need to do that, which is great. Because I love not having to use the golden linen, honestly. Does Baby have anything new for us? Or is Baby just gonna be like, bring me my brothers? And it's like, but I'm working on it. I'm collecting children as fast as I can.
Please find the rest.
That literally it? Is that all you have to say? Okay. No. But you didn't even touch me. Oh, hey. Right, because we haven't been down here yet. Sooty garlic? Yeah, this is the candle room where I need both the balls of wax, and I don't have them. So let's mark that with a question mark, and we will come back. I just want to get to some bosses. But I need things in order to do that. Oof, okay. Corpse. Little one, stop crying. Is this where the other boss is, though? This might be where the other boss is, which would be great, because we need that. Right, this is where the key is. Okay, but we need this flask. 9,000, though. Ma'am. How much is this? 900! 9,999? Ma'am? That's too much! We do get some good items, though. It's bad here, you motherfucker. Okay, where am I? And how do I get anywhere? Nope, we go down because I think that this is a shortcut that we can unlock. And it's the last bit of wax that we need. You love to see it. Okay, yeah, we got the big ball of wax now. Let's open that up. Let's do this. We can get rid of that. Did we stop at the shrine over here? I think we did. Okay. Well, we can... Which prayer do I have equipped? One that we need. Baby get. Alright, up we go. Go ahead and heal up a little bit while we're here. What is this? Quicksilver! Great! Things I can't use yet! Ah! It's fine. Heading in the right direction. We do get more fervor, though. So I'm not mad about that. Fervor has been increased. And this is open now. So you love to see it. Is there anything else down here? I guess this isn't where the other boss is. Where is the other boss? Because we have... I know where two bosses are, but those are the DLC ones. We need to get, Isadora in the ossuary. And we need to get... Fuck, I can't remember its name, but it's the big snake. In Havoc and whatever. Morning in Havoc. But there's a third boss that we need to get a mask in order to activate the elevator, and I can't, for the life of me, remember where he is. That's a lie. I might remember. I might not. Okay, that's fine. We'll figure it out. What else do I need? We can go back down here, because we have all of the... We're full of wax. Oh boy. Are we waxed up? I'm sorry I said that. I don't know why I said that. I don't know what it means. I regret everything. Oof. Man, you hit very hard. But that's one less dude that we have to get, I think. Because I think it would have told me if our chalice had been emptied every time we stopped at a shrine. So we should be good there. And what this is telling us to do is to equip the wax that we got from the... What do I want to get rid of? Nothing, really. We equip the wax that we got from the statues. And then we do a slice. And we get a molten heart of boiling blood, which we won't be using. It's just there. Just in case you wanted to look at it. Okay, let's get rid of both of these. And I would like... It says that it adds extra thrust, and I don't know that that's true. I think that might be a lie. We can mark that off, though, because we've done it. We can go in here, because we might have all the necessary bones to, like, read the message and see what we have to do. I could have sworn it was, we did a blood sacrifice and then just stood still for 6 seconds. But, you know, I could be incredibly wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, and it definitely won't be the last time. No, 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 no laser ghosts. None lasers, thank you. Alright, while we're here, just gonna slice them up. Why are things exploding down there? Why do I still hear the laser ghost? Okay, what do we need? Femur. Yep, understood. Tibia. And a kneecap. Okay. Okay, get me out. I read. Femur, tibia, kneecap. Tibia, kneecap. That's a fibula. Tibia. Be fervent. That is the secret. Okay, well, that's not particularly helpful. Femur. Get rid of everything and you'll have nothing to lose. Right. Oops, not that. Okay, so what we need to do... Shit, do I have to get rid of that too? I'm hoping I don't have to get rid of the hearts in... I probably do, though. Damn. Okay. If I just do this, and we stand here for a minute. I want to say it's like 6 seconds. 6 to 10. I'll let him just finish his animation. No, I have to get rid of the virtue heart. Or the heart and the mea culpa virtue. Okay. I don't want to have to run all the way back! Rude! I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to activate it. That's gonna bring Laser Ghost back. Ugh. Okay. Well, we've gotten rid of everything. That was that was the bit we were missing, was just have absolutely nothing equipped. Get that laser ghost out of here. Okay. Okay. Let's just do that. And then we'll let the man stand for a second. There we go. Look, we just didn't want to have to deal with Laser Ghost. Romance to the Crimson Mist. Again, a thing that I won't be using. But we got it. What else do we need? I need to figure out how to get that. Let's put everything back on before we die. Is it? I mean, it sounds like one, that's for certain. I just want to not be here. Yeah, if you told me that it was, I'd just be like, yeah, of course it is. Duh. Okay, but why didn't... You have to go away! My god. Why are they horrible? You motherfuckers. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me! Ah! Infuriating. I hate these fucking skulls. Okay, and then we do this. And we get blown up a whole bunch, and the man refuses to grab the ladder, as is his usual shtick. Go away! Leave me alone! I'm here! I know I'm kind of giving them mixed messages at the moment, but also, tell them to go away. What, Yana? Okay, well, again, not a thing that I really want, but we do have it. What is this? Mercy Dreams? I need them to come to me on my own terms! I can't have them deciding what they're doing when they wanna. Okay, I am gonna look up where... I think I looked it up last time, but I need to know where the nail thing is for sewer exploring. Uprooted. Nail uprooted from dirt. Where is... Right. Okay, we have to finish Redento's stuff. But he should be in Mother of Mothers at this point. So let's go down to the teleporter. Sorry, it is just a lot of running around at this moment to try and, like... Excuse me? To, like, finish a bunch of shit so that we can maybe have a chance at the bosses. Don't worry about it. We're getting shit done. I think we should be able to take on, well, assuming I can get to a horrible place, we can probably take on Snake. Snake is the easier of the two DLC bosses. 'Cause let me tell you, Isadora fucking sucks. She is a misery and a half to fight. Okay. Actually, where is... That that's where the chalice is, right? That's where we need to take the chalice. So what we can do is go to Albero before we find... Let's go to Albero real quick. This is the wrong way. I didn't want to go here. So that we can get the chalice filled up, and then we can also turn the chalice in. What was that about inverted? What was that about I'm not allowed to teleport when I'm carrying the chalice? Okay. Alright, that's fine. Never mind. We're just not gonna do that. Maybe at all. But since we're here, we got some stuff that we can turn in. And we can get some points, so...
Merciful be, penitent one. With your
Yep, great. Thanks for the tears. Holy shit, that was a lot.
the miracle.
Okay, there's nothing else that I can give him at the moment. So annoyed. We can also turn in... Oh.
One woeful day he broke his vows and left upon hearing the news that a miracle had occurred. We never heard from
Talking
him
about
again.
Cleophas.
Please give him this. It will mean a lot to him.
Here's the thing. Cleophas is fucking dead. If you give him the cord, he won't jump, and he'll come back here, or you can convince him to leave the jail. When I found him, I had that, but he was in the jail, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll go there, and it's fine." Thank you for the Tears of Atonement. We should be able to get that other upgrade. Would you like this? The skeletal remains of Tentudia?
Tentudia have been gathered. It is now possible to give her the second true burial. With this supplication, she shall watch over thee.
Great. Thanks. I have a better
The
move.
order blesses thee.
Okay. It's getting nice in here. Got a token of appreciation. I'd like to tithe, I guess. 3,530. Unless I don't need to anymore. Thinking, hold on. I would like to get rid of my guilt. Even though it's gonna cost me a little bit. That's fine. We are no longer guilty! Hooray! Perfect! And that man is done. He is handled. I want to see if I can get in here at some point. But before we do that, we need to go find Redento. And he is in the Mother of Mothers, which I've not unlocked a fast travel for, so we'll have to go back to the Library of Negated Words. It's fine. It's fine. This is my it's fine face? It's fine. Is there anything else I need to do over here, though, before we leave? Is there a place where I can refill my bio flasks anywhere close? Not really. Incredibly unfortunate. There's one there. It's kind of a hassle and a half to get to. It's a lot of platforming. There's one here. I could get there from here. It is kind of worth it. Not that we really need it, but I just... should probably wait until we get the other ones. Where are the other ones? Speaking of... I don't know, because I don't know where I've gotten all the other ones. There's one in the Wall of the Holy Prohibition. You do need the Key of the Inquisitor to get that. That's the one I'm missing. Like, it's because I haven't been following the guide the whole time for the vial flasks. It does complicate things a little bit, but we should only be missing 2. And I know one of them. We now know that one of them is behind a door that we need the key of the Inquisitor for. I went in here to, like, re-equip all my shit, and then I forgot to, so I'm glad I looked at that now. Oh boy! Last one that I want. Little toe, please. We also need to find the last of the rosary knots. Okay, while we're here, can we go into the ossuary? Again, I don't want to fight the lady until I have my Quicksilver flasks. Because otherwise she's gonna be fucking impossible. Throws out a lot of homing attacks that hit you very hard. We do have access to her now, though. But we're not going in just yet. But it is nice to know that we can go in. Ooh.
Can you already
It's that bad lady.
Can you already ancient
The one that you watched me destroy, but at what cost?
lady who sang to the bones?
She's bad.
The skeletal remains on the other side have opened the door to you. They
Okay.
bid you welcome.
Yeah,
but
they're gonna have to
beware
wait.
of the secret they wish to share.
We also haven't, like, technically found the... No, we did. We did find the man. We did find the golden face. So many slow homing fireballs. They're horrible. They're horrible. Okay, we do want to go back to the Mother of Mothers. I might go to the patio. Or the Ferris tree as our teleport spot. But since we're here... It's not really an unlock we'll use, but it is nice to just upgrade everything. We technically had enough to get the key of the Inquisitor, but it's gonna be a minute before we go there. Wait, I can teleport to the Mother of Mothers? Oh. Okay, well, where's Redento? Where's our boy? Where he? Don't remember where he's hiding in here. I was very proud of myself first time through of not looking up anything. It's not that, like, it's bad to do that. But sometimes you just want to solve the stuff on your own, you know? Or at least I do. Okay. We just gotta go up. Gotta go as up as we possibly can. Up? Penitent one? Continue up? And block when I ask you to, if you would. I'd appreciate that. That got both of them. Delightful. Okay. Consecrated amethyst. That will be very nice for the Havoc place. Because there are a lot of things there that do a shit ton of magic damage. Magic and lightning, I think. And it's not good. Is the main takeaway there. Is it's bad? Fuck. Got donged. Come on. Did it again. I don't think he should be allowed to do that. Redento!
Oh, my sins. Is a long journey filled with reflection not enough? What of the calluses on the feet, the cramps in the legs, the thirst, the forehead scorched by a sun that seemeth never to set?
What do you mean your forehead's scorched? I thought you were keeping your head down.
And what about the torturing of the mind when guilt pierceth our
I'm
hearts
just being a
time
dick about
after
it.
time?
Bud, consider.
What more
Don't do it.
punishment
Doesn't fucking
do we
matter.
want, O sins of mine? Thou art before the first pilgrim, first of the barefoot rule, master of all errant sinners. This old limestone statue was erected where the pilgrimage of the master ended, where he took his last step. It was then that the miracle carried him in its arms so he could continue his path on the road of the old processions.
It's true! Has he not considered?
Barefoot master, what else dost thou want from me? Barefoot master.
Okay, he is just repeating himself now. Okay, but here's the thing. I can see that hole back there. Can I leave? And come back?
Barefoot master.
No. Okay. What have I not done to finish Redento's stuff? Whoa! I had not finished clearing out this room. That is a bit of a problem for me. Why didn't that hit you? Idiots. No, please, I'm gonna die! Fuck! Where am I in relation? Oh, there's one real close. And I'd have to do all that again. You know what? No, that's fine. It's fine. It's not that far. I'll have all of my flasks and a full health bar. And I won't have to teleport around again because I don't remember the last shrine that we stopped at. So let's just go there real quick. Let's let that go through, and then we'll just very quickly, as quick as we possibly can. It's fine. Fine. No! This should be illegal. Okay. We can do this. I can't jump that fast. I can't hide that quick. These things go away after a time, you know? Okay. I don't like these incense burners. They're rude. And I don't think they should be allowed. This is infuriating. How did I do this the first time? How did I manage it? I don't even remember what's up there. But now that I'm here, I have to do it. I have to get it. It's true, I didn't even react. I just went. I just said, I'm doing it now. You're right, this is normal. It's fine. And then we just did it. Oh, that's how I did it. Also, I think it's rude that it put my guilt fragment in the wall where I can't grab it. I think that should be not allowed. Fine, we got it. Rude. Okay, well, let's go say hi to Redento again. Nah, he says you can't just pick it up anymore. He heard us talking shit to Redento about just picking it up, and he was like, oh, just pick it up, huh? And I think that's mean. Look, I'm just a silly guy with a funny pointy hat, okay?
Barefoot Mark.
Is this what you want me to do? Did you want me to... Yeah, I believe it. Okay. I'm gonna Google, why won't Redento stop crying? Why won't Redento die? Is one of the first options that comes up. And that makes me feel not good. Yeah, but how do I get Redento to die? Oh, I'm an idiot. I understand. So the last time I did this, I had all of his items equipped. Just automatically? Or just, like, because I thought that's what... I just needed all of the things, but I need all 3 equipped. I didn't put that together the last time, and I thought he was dead. Wait. Can I talk to him before we get the thing? No, because he's fucking gone. Damn it. I see, I understand. Well, it's fine because we have the nail uprooted from dirt, which means we can walk through swampy water, which should make...
Mine.
Oh? Redento? Okay, well we got dirt nail. Dirt nail acquired. You'll love to see it. Incredibly important dirt nail. Because now we can finish the cistern, which is great. And I think that there might be... the buried churches is this. It says that there is a bioflask there in the cistern, in a path that leads to the wasteland of the buried churches. Oh, it might be in here. Okay, let's go back to Albero real fast. Again, I'm sorry that this entire stream has just been me looking for silly items and no bosses, but also consider the bosses that we have to face right now are all horrible and very big, and in places that are bad to get to. Also, the uprooted, the dirt nail, very important for Havoc place, because there's some gunk in the floor where there are enemies, and you are very slow in gunk. This is not where, no, this is where I wanted to go. Panic, because I was like, I don't want to be in, I don't want to be there yet! We want to go to Albarrow so we can go to the cistern and grab all the stuff that's there. Oh boy. Also, sorry, how long have I been streaming for? Only an hour and a half. Okay. Feels, simultaneously, feels like it's been longer, and also shorter than that. Did I equip? I did not. Let's get rid of, I don't think we need the tongue while we're in here. So let's get that nail in there. And we just go across. Excuse me. Gotta get close enough to the man to do the thing. Ugh. We do need enough points to purchase the stuff from Candelaria, because there's a bile flask there too. This is the thing, right? Because I think the new bosses, or at least these couple of bosses, were added with the same DLC that added the Quicksilver. So they, like, really want you to have that, and I really want me to have that as well. And so... Oh, right, I remember why... Okay, so it wasn't in here. Where specifically? Find an illusory wall at the bottom of the long vertical corridor that leads up to the waist. Oh, it is in this corridor, but it's at the end where I didn't get to. Okay. Understood! Yeah, so it's a matter of, you know, we need the items that they want us to get, but I also need the achievement of having all of the flasks, and I don't know if that applies, if you haven't... This is the wrong way. If you've done the Quicksilver, I don't think it does. Because... I'm pretty sure I got all of the flasks. We got a severed hand. Who wants this? Oh, right, it's for man. Okay. It tells us where there are secrets if we give it to the Salt Man. Excuse me. And we can refill our bile flasks here and get that new one. That puts us at an 8, right? Yeah. Okay. Said it was behind an illusory wall. That was an illusory wall. I think. Ouch. Ouch! Or is this? No, I already tried to hit that, didn't I? Excuse me? Bottom of the long vertical corridor. This is the vertical corridor that leads up to the wastelands. So where have you hidden? Where have you hidden the wall? Because that's not... A severed hand is not the same thing as a bile flask. Just generally speaking. At least not where I come from. I could be wrong. Can you grab the fucking ladder? Sorry. I hate this man. Why is he a horrible man? Let me refill real fast. Is it over here? I mean, I understand that it's slippy from goo, but also consider... I don't care. Is this the illusory wall? No. Have I already gotten it then? I guess we're gonna continue exploring down here since we can. And maybe we'll find it. Maybe we'll come across it. Oh, excuse me. Maybe man should wear better gloves. You know, if slippery ladders, if goop ladders are gonna be a thing that you see in your future, which I feel like he should have seen, then maybe he should have brought a better pair of gloves. We're at the Mercy Dreams shop, which I have purchased everything. Okay. That's been undone. Great. Yeah, it's gotta get Leonard's non-slip. Fuck. Get out of here. Bringing up Nightcry in my stream? No, it fits. Yeah. No, that's correct. Horrible. How do I go up? Why didn't I go up? Weird. Bioflask? No, it's just bones. What the fuck is this? Hold on, I am gonna look up the location. Hey, guy, that's a horizontal. That's a horizontal location. Guide, you've lied to me. The thing that you're showing to me is not vertical. It's horizontal. It should be... Where the fuck is that? Here? This one? This is horizontal. Hey. This bit, this is horizontal. This is vertical. This is horizontal, though. I have been lied to in the most egregious way possible. I've been lied to by a person who doesn't know the difference between horizontal and vertical. Look, I know that they can be confusing, but just remember that horizontal is like horizon. Let me be as, like, condescending about that as possible. Oh, fuck. But also, fuck you for making me look through the wrong section the whole time, because you said it, dumb. Horrible. Hey, we've unlocked some things. Baby. Right, and this is a shortcut. This is a good shortcut that I used a lot in the other one, and I also think that there's an arcade machine down here. If I remember correctly. Somewhere down here. It's here. You can tell because the rat went under the wall. I don't have enough tears. I said yes, and I already knew that I didn't have enough. I'm gonna mark that with a skull, though. Because maybe we'll do that. I'm very bad at it, and it's also incredibly expensive. There are corpses in here. Dolphus, get out of here. What do you say? Everyone passes. Half do not return. Right. So we want to set this to 4. Also, since we're here. That's 2. That's 3. And that's 4. Because you want a number that you can divide by half. So it's how many people have passed and how many haven't returned. 2. And I think it only goes up to 5. This one took me for fucking ever to figure out. I did it. I got a silver grate. What does that do? Enhances the defenses of the wearer considerably. I love to see it. What's over here? Oh. What is here? Oh, right. That's where we return the chalice. Return the chalice. And I need to go up here to get that bile flask. In the horizontal. It's not even. Hold on. He even said it was in the. If we're ignoring which direction it is, said it was in the tunnel that led to the Wasteland of the Buried Churches. This is the Desecrated Cistern, and this is the Wasteland of the Buried Churches, and they are connected. Adding on top of the fact that he said that it was vertical, not horizontal. Sorry, I'm gonna just be really salty about that for a while. 'Cause he was wrong. Whoever wrote the guide was wrong. In an incredibly, like, he's wrong on all points. So I'm glad that he, like, included a picture, but it also then begs the question of, well, how did you get it so wrong? If you could see where it was, how did you do it bad? Come on. I'm gonna die down here. I don't want to solve his riddles. His riddles are bad. I'm at the point where I'm just very hyped to be here, and I'm just talking absolute bullshit about things that don't actually matter, but they matter to me, damn it. I am so done with the tiny health flasks. I need this upgrade desperately, so that I never have to do it again. But like I said, I'm not sure. I could probably just look it up, but also I don't know that anyone would give me a straight answer about whether or not I can, like, collect all of them and then upgrade them. Because, like I said, I thought I had previously. I thought in my first run I had all 10. Please. But maybe I was missing a Quicksilver. I don't know. But it's, not nice. Oh my god. Okay, let's just take so many of them. Blow up. Leave me alone. There it is. There it is! Give me! So that would put us at 9. The last one is the Inquisitor. Is the Inquisitor key one. Which I need enough points for, please. God, I would, if nothing else, if that's all we do this stream, is successfully get all of the bile flasks so that we can start doing the Quicksilver upgrades, I would be happy. I'd be fine with this. But, you know, we have to get the flasks. And also get enough points to do anything. We should, I imagine... because they get real expensive at the end. I have to go to the bathroom. Probably do that soon. I should refill my water too. Maybe grab a soda. Maybe I'm feeling spicy today, and it's a 2-soda day. I've gone up the wrong side. I need to not be here anymore, I think is the big thing. Let's get back to... Let's get back to Albero real fast. We can reconvene, consider what's going on. I can use the restroom. And then we can consider what else we need to do. I would consider going through Mourning and Havoc and just, like, clearing the area out. Because there's a shortcut from Echoes of Salt into Mourning and Havoc. But you have to get through the whole area, and getting through the whole area, even with the upgraded flasks, is a task and a half. So I don't even want to, like, think about that until we have a couple of Quicksilver upgrades, which, like, we should be able to kind of power through those once we have our flasks. I need to be very careful because my health is getting low. But we also need this. Here's the problem right now, right? We just need Tears of Atonement for, like, everything. Because the Quicksilver upgrades require it, the refilling the bio flasks require it. Just everything that we're doing. If I could remember where the fucking boss is, that would be great. Might be in... No! He might be in the Wall of the Holy Prohibitions. Did Fireman give me a mask? I didn't think he did. We'll figure it out in a minute. Let me get to the shrine real quick, just so we can heal up. Oh, actually, before we do that, I just keep finding things to do. I need to go to the bathroom. But also, what if I just say hi to Saltman real quick? Just real fast. Just, give him that severed hand. And then he gives me this
time of its death,
silly
before the journey,
secret-finding thing.
the miracle kissed the hand of the Master, stopping the corruption of the flesh and granting him a new grace.
Imagine just having a hand. That was fine while the rest of you just rotted.
I bless this relic. Watch over it, for it is now pure and sacred.
Thanks, Saltman. We got an incorrupt hand of the Fraternal Master. And that is the last of the Salt guy that we need to see. He has uncorrupted everything that we can possibly give him. Alright, we're gonna pause here. And I'm gonna go pee. And then we will, try and get that last flask. We'll see how it goes. I'm still, like, I still have, like, enough energy to go past the usual 2-hour mark. But I have to pee. That's what I have to think about first. It's pee time, alright? Go stretch, get a snack, refill your water if you haven't. Also pee if you need to. We'll be right back. eel cry. As in the cry of the eel. I'm back. Felt like there was something else I needed to do while I was up, but it's fine. Let's get Game back in here. Hey, Game. What was I gonna look up? I feel like there was something. Oh! I don't know what it was. That's fine. We really just need deers, huh? Is there anyone else I can give anything to? Not really. Oh, I guess I could look up where the rest of the rosary knots are. Because we're missing a couple of those, and I know I didn't get all of them last time I played either. Let's see. Get one in Hondo. Get one in Grievance Ascends. Get one from Terso. We haven't done that yet. I have to give him all of the healing herbs. Ooh, I wish I remembered which ones I'd given man. He needs the Bouquet of Time, which I know we've done. Bouquet of Rosemary, dried cloves, incense, garlic, olive seeds, and sooty garlic. Is it dried cloves that we haven't done yet? Or is it the olive seeds? One in Hondo was like here. It looks like. Hold on, I'm gonna. I feel like we would have gotten that. Rosemary? Mountains of the Endless Dusk we have to go back to anyway. No. Where are the mountains? Excuse me? Mountains? Oh, wait. Those are here, aren't they? Says that they should be down, like, here. So if we're gonna check there, we might as well check here as well. Olive seeds are in the Patio of the Silent Steps. I'm pretty sure we've gotten those. Like, 90% certain. We've gotten the city garlic and the thyme. We got the incense garlic. Think so? Where olive trees wither. Maybe we haven't. Yeah, because there's this whole section down here that we just haven't done. Hold on. I have to see specifically where that is. No, it would have been in here. It says it would have been here. We must have gotten it. Okay. Well, let's see. We have to go up here anyway, because I want to see if we can access this area as a whole.
The miracle is taking us away, one after the other.
Yeah. I know I got the knot from him the first time that I went through. Okay, let's go up. That's a little faster. I do need to take the time to kill all the enemies that we come across. Maybe we won't get all the bile flasks today, but we are one step closer to getting the bile flasks, so that's exciting. At least I'm excited about it. So, you know, I really wanted to get to the bosses today, but, you know, that's not happening. Can't always go to plan, I guess. There might be another way for us to get down, to the, like, hidden area. If we can't... Whoop! If we can't through the, like, the proper way. Where is it? It's down here. Okay. You. Forgot that that's kind of an empty void. I need to re-equip. I need to click. It's not any button game. You want me to click with my mouse. Sorry. We need to re-equip the golden linen. So nail can go away now. That can go away. Let's get the gnarled tongue. The linen of golden thread. Excuse me. Let's get that going. So that should help resolve the falling off cliffs issue that we're currently having. Ooh, yawns! Here I was just saying, I have the energy to keep going. I definitely do. I'm gonna go for at least a little bit longer. You know. Hold on. Okay. Looking at this... won't give us the thing until we finish the 3 bosses, it seems. That was what I was gonna look up, was who the 3rd boss is. Excuse me. And it is the horrible man that I thought it was. So that sucks for me! His boss fight isn't too horrible. Especially after dealing with Isadora. It sees nothing. Guy's a chump. Can he not? Okay. Would love to be able to see where I'm jumping, game. Well, it's fine. Because we're down here now, which is where we wanted to be. Okay. These guys, I hate them so much. Where does this go? Give her the flower? Can I do that? Yeah! What does this do for me? Right, she gives us a prayer. Okay. Does that go anywhere? Is that anything? No. I do want to check to see if that has opened up or if Tree Friend has moved at all. Just because he did the first time, and since he was just not around at all, this time, you have to do the thing. He wants to take an extra step that I don't tell him to take, and also, sir, you can't do this. This is rude and horrible. Ugh, boy. There are not enough enemies in here for me to get. Did I get baby? No, I didn't get baby because, yeah, because it was too far away. But to be able to get baby, I need, a new prayer? Excuse me. And I don't have enough fervor. I know, but baby. We're gonna get baby, but I have to have fervor to get baby. It's this little known fact about baby. Why aren't you grabbing the goddamn ledge? You want baby watch again? Over here telling me when I miss a baby? Look. I'm trying as hard as man will let me try, which does not seem to be very hard. Come here. Okay. Whoa. What is this? What are you? What are those? It's a coccyx. That's somebody's butt bone. Okay. We're gonna come back. Like, immediately. Is the thing. But we do need to go over here so we can hit some enemies and refill that fervor bar. I'm gonna be very upset if this doesn't work. Also, it didn't look like man moved. Yeah, nope, this way is just closed forever. So the only way for you to find out that this is a thing, if you don't know that it's already there, is to accidentally fall down off a ledge and have the cloth of golden linen equipped. Best of luck to ya. Okay, enemies? Enemies that give me more fervor. Would love enemies that give me a lot of fervor. Would love enemies that I can, like, actually attack in a mildly intelligent manner. That would be nice, too. Would love that for me. I should be able to get enough from this lady. Never mind. She's also a pathetic weakling, who means nothing to me. Ma'am. Okay, let's just crack 5 of these bad boys on our face. It would take 5 to fully heal. That's disgusting. Why is it this bad? Also, is there anything else up here that we need to explore? Not really. I just need... Okay, that's fine. You know why? They're so small! I need them to not be so small! Sir. I am a 1 hit away from filling our fervor bar. All of this to try and get this baby, and that's, again, there's not even a guarantee that it's gonna work. Okay. Fervor refilled. Get me the fuck out of here. Oh, baby. The things that I am doing for you at this moment is a lot. I hope you appreciate what I'm doing, baby. Because I certainly don't appreciate what I'm doing. It's a lot of work for a lot of nothing. It's not a lot of nothing. We do get that very good baby prayer, which kind of carried me through a couple of the last fights. Okay. This doesn't work. I'm gonna cry. Baby got. Baby got. Look, we got baby. Holy shit. Okay, but there's nothing here. So we need to go through here. While we're here, Might as well fill up the chalice. I'm not gonna be happy about that though, because not dying is difficult. I mean, we've done an okay job at it this stream. There've been a few mishaps, sure. But like, if I'm careful and conscientious and, you know, not just causing problems to cause problems, then we should be fine. I would like to get to Albero though, and this is like the worst. I've chosen like the worst way to go. Did I get this baby? I missed this baby. I had forgotten this baby, I'll say. Fuck. Actually. Not fuck. That's what we want. This is what we want, actually. And these guys give me, like, none points, but none points. I can't say none points is better than no points, because that's the exact same thing. But a little points, tiny points is better than no points. Oops. Come on. Okay. Yeah, we're adding all the babies to the baby collection. I've just got all these babies hanging out in my pocket right now. And they love it. It's their favorite thing. Oh boy! Babies love it in there. Don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what's occurring right now. I'm also really sad that we've not seen Dog at all this playthrough. Sometimes in that last scene that we were in, you'll see Dog. A dog will occur. Which is kind of cool. We do love that. We love Dog here. And I believe you can pet Dog. I don't know why my chair is leaning back so far. I need support, chair. Why, I got you. Oh, it's so far away. Okay, no. This is what we'll do. We will go. We'll teleport over there. And then no more teleporting. We're not allowed to teleport anymore after that. We want to go to the Brotherhood of the Silent Sorrow, please. Oh boy, my shoulders. Because this is closer to where we want to check for stuff. Don't want to kill one of these guys. It's bad down here. I didn't want to be down here. No. Okay. Oh, we need so many points. Chalice has been filled, though. Okay, we've gotten this one. So maybe it is in Hondo. It's not in Albero. It's not in Mountains of the Endless Dusk. It's not where the olive trees wither. And it's not the sleeping canvases. So it's either the patio of the Silent Steps, which again, I'm like 90% sure we've gotten that one. Or it's in Hondo. It's gotta be Hondo, right? Oh boy. I go all over this dang map. Kill the creatures we need to kill. Well, that's a little upsetting to me, if I do say so myself. Do I still have... Or I start throwing myself everywhere. Do have the linen of golden thread still equipped. Great. That should make a lot of this much easier. Unless I fall on spikes as I'm thinking about it, because I think there are spike pits in Hondo. So we're not as big a fan of that. But, you know. Okay. Cross. I've already gotten this, though. Okay, so... Oh... Maybe it's because I haven't... Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are only 6. And he gave us 10,000 points this last time, right? So maybe we need to... Maybe I need to finish killing Man. I have to kill the other boss before we can do anything. Okay, well, since we're down here... Because he gives you... It looks like 7 rewards. Despite only having 6 items he receives. And the last, one of the last ones is 10,000 points. And we got that because we saw that our number got big very fast. And it does mention that he won't give you the rosary knot until after you've beaten the 3 bosses. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. This makes me feel a bit better about that. So that's done. We've gotten... So let's say those first 2 are completed. We've done Grievance Ascents, haven't we? That's where we are at the moment. Hold on. While we're here... Room filled with collapsible floors and poison gas. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've done that one. Oh, I need to check this here. No, it looks like it's done, because it would have been in here? It would have been down here, and we've gotten that. Okay. Okay. Ooh, sorry, there's like a single hair in my face, and I hate it. I need to go back to Redento. Back to the room that we found him in the Mother of Mothers to get the other one. And is that all of them? Just 3 in total that we're missing. Tirso in Albero. Graveyard of Peace access by jumping on top of the elevator. Graveyard Peace. Here. I think we've gotten that. Holy Line below a breakable floor. Holy Line. Requires the blood perpetuated in sand and nail uprooted from dirt. Below a breakable floor. I'm gonna just mark generally here. I don't know if that's where it is, but there's something here. Okay. Redento, Tirso, Holy Line. That's 3. That's all of them accounted for. Okay! I don't need to be here then. Unless I want to go up to the Holy Line. Oh, that's very far away, isn't it? I can't... No, it's fine. I said we weren't going to teleport because it gets rid of all of our blood, but I don't care at the moment. Let's go back here. I know I'm doing this in a very strange manner, so thank you for bearing with me while I have a full episode. about everything that's going on. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Sylvie, hello. How is it going, friend? How are you doing? Wah 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 to you too. I am having a minor episode. Don't worry about it. Get that work done. Get that work done. Are you more or less caught up after the internet incident? I was very sad when you didn't have internet. I think we were all very sad when you didn't have internet. Uh-oh, episode. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you, it's fine. It's fine. Oof. Well, I hope you're able to do that without too much hassle. That's usually how it goes, though, right? Like, it's usually when you're like, I'm gonna get all this done, it's gonna be great, that everything else around you just sort of says, about that, and it's a little sad-making. Okay, get these guys out of here. They give me, like, no points at all. This is horrible, and I hate it. It mentioned that I needed... the dirt nail? Is this correct? Hold on, I'm looking at this map. Where the fuck? Oh, it's in the next screen. Okay, I don't know what it wants me to do, really. But we'll figure it out. Also, that man has been decaffeinated. Don't worry about it. Here? Do I... Where in here? Ugh. What just happened? How the fuck? It says it's a breakable floor. Oh, wait. I think I know. Is it the weird, like, craggy floor? This? My god. Alright, got a bone. That would be one of the bones that I was missing before. This is sneaky. We got Knot of the Rosary. I just want these guys to leave me alone, I think. There was another one, though. On the other screen? I wonder if they're all breakable. I feel like I tried before? Because it kind of stands out. Where is it? I thought there was another one. There it is. Yeah! Okay, I guess I just didn't do a drop attack on it. Again! Sneaky! What? What is this? Oh, you know. Okay, so I was missing Quicksilver the last time as well. I bet that this is where the NPC for New Game Plus shows up. I think that's what's happening here. Your footsteps above me. Beyond the roots, I hear irregular, raspy breathing from behind the rock. I hear the worms nearby slithering towards me. Weird. Wild. Heck. Kinda cool. Okay. Out of there. Camera didn't quite know how to handle that. We did the holy line. Okay. So we got another rosary knot. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's all the quicksilver. Which is very exciting for me. Okay, we need to go through the desecrated cistern so that we can hit up sleeping canvases. I have to go all the way up to the Archcathedral, though. You know what, this isn't too horrible. I mean, it is. It's incredibly horrible because I have to run so fucking far without fast traveling. You know what? There's probably... I don't remember having to run nearly this much, so I wonder if I can do Wall of Holy Prohibitions down to the sleeping canvases, probably through the patio and the Library of Negated Words. Go to the sleeping canvases, and then do Echoes of Salt? So there should be some of those Minotaurs there as well. I mean, we're here, so it doesn't really matter. It does kinda, though. Might be faster to go. Might be faster to teleport. We'll consider. We need the points, though, is the other thing. We need to beat Man. So maybe we just say fuck it to the Chalice right now. Chalice is something we can do later. Okay. I know we just there. I know we were just there. But we are gonna go back to the Brotherhood. So that we can give the rosary knot to the lady. Sir, would you like to jump when I tell you to jump? We will try the boss in the Wall of Holy Prohibitions. Because I think we should be able to just kind of, like, keep pressing forward there. We don't necessarily need the Key of the Inquisitor, to do that.
Return once you possess.
Hopefully.
May your heart...
Okay, thank you, ma'am. What do I want to equip? Get that wheel back in there, right? Because we're a touch faster. Not a whole bunch faster, but a little bit. Tiny itty bitty bit. And then we can go to... I don't know that I have enough to get that bile flask filled. It's part of the other issue, though. Is this man hits hard? It's fine. It's fine. Where are we going? We're going down. Down and to the left. Horrible. Stop hitting me! I'm nice! Despite everything! These ladies give me lots of points. They give me like 50. More than 50. 3106. Okay. Oh fuck. Sorry. I wanted those points. I just wanted the points. I'm here. Because I didn't stop at the thing. Almost saved it. Man likes to take a single step more than what I tell him to. Which is a little bit of a problem, especially for those very tight jumps. He doesn't always take an extra step, but when he does, it's the worst possible time that he could do it. It's fine. One day we'll have enough points to buy the key that we want and to, I don't know, purchase all of the upgrades as well. Today is not that day, though. I might, between now and whenever I play this again next, on stream, that is, I'll probably play a little bit on my own, just to, like, grind. Find a place that has, like, big enemies, and just get as many Tears of Atonement as we possibly can get, so that we don't have to deal with this the next time. I would like to be over here. Also, the way that I have to, like, remove my hands from the controller when going into a new room, specifically in the Archcathedral rooftops, because I will launch myself off of a ledge. Okay, we've saved. Great. Sir, you can't do that. Should have probably killed those ladies, but I didn't wanna. I don't have enough fervor to attack. Makes me very sad. Fuck off. Okay. Give me that. Where else have I died? Oh, right, over there. I should probably consider absolving myself of that guilt sometime soon. Just cause, like, it's not good. Come over here. Donger Man, you have to come here. Donger Man! Donger Man. Okay, let's heal. Oof. Alright, those guys are out of here. And we're a bit under halfway to key time. I mean, that's like the big thing we're shooting for right now, right? Because what else can we get? We can't get the upgrades just yet. Oh, can I open you? Man, where do you lead? Baby. You lead to baby. We have but 2 babies to find. And then we'll get our baby upgrade. And I'm very excited about that. Baby prayer, very good. I don't know why I called it an upgrade. Don't upgrade your babies. Your babies are fine as is. I can open that now. Baby grade. Yeah, I know my chalice has been partially filled. Doesn't fucking matter. I mean, babies is leveling up all the time, right? That's, like, their thing. It's like what they do. I know I've talked to that corpse, so we're gonna skip it for right now. Book! Thought that was gonna hit me. It's fine. Okay, let's get through here. Like I said, I just want to do... I want to try this boss a couple of times before we call it for today. Doesn't feel like it, but we have made a substantial amount of progress, and I'm pleased with that. It's all been like little things, but they've been little things to build up to big things, you know? We're here for that. Also, shortcut. Saw him approaching between the bars. I saw fire burst through his chest and scorch him. Saw fire burn again from thin air and fuse his skin. He walks with fire and fire with him. Fire walk with me? Sorry. I want to rewatch Twin Peaks. But, like, all of it. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't trap me like this. I will kill you. Don't you know I'm a monster? What's in here? Key of the Inquisitor. Don't have that just yet. I would mark all these locations. However, I'm just going to assume that there's at least one door in every section that needs a Key of the Inquisitor for us to complete. So, you know. Can you stop hurting me? Key of the Scribe. Big boy! Yeah, get out of here, guy. I own this prison now. I think that's another shortcut. Okay. Back over here. Call the elevator. Come on. Send the elevator back up. I want to make sure that this shortcut is unlocked. So I usually just, like, assume that it's a shortcut, and with that assumption, I just go, yeah, it's fine. When it is, in fact, not fine yet. See? See, I needed to do that. And then I think... Baby. Oh, I don't have the key yet. Okay. That's fine. That leads up to the Chapel of the Charred Visage. This place. Convent of Our Lady of the Charred Visage, excuse me. But that gives us, I think a teleporter as well. So that should shorten the duration of us having to wander around nearly as much. Is this the last baby? That's all the fucking babies! We got the babies. Sorry, I was very excited about having all babies. No, no, but I was jumping! But I was jumping! Kayshurrr, I was jumping! Kayshurrr? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. Or any of the Latinx languages. I apologize. I don't remember how to fight you. I don't remember how to fight you. Which prayer do I have equipped before I start going hog wild? Absolutely the incorrect one. Sir, can you not do that? Stop jumping on my head! Leave me alone! I have no health. I have none health. Oh, fuck. Ugh. Man's gonna jump on my head! Fuck. Okay. It's true, I should be where he swords and fire isn't. That is the correct move that I definitely didn't do. I think I can do this. I think I can do this? I forgot how buck wild his attacks feel at first. But this is manageable. Honestly, like, a lot of my issue with him comes from the fact that, like, he doesn't really know. A lot of the issue for me is just the fact that, Lord, it's a very narrow area, and it takes forever for my flasks to do anything, and they don't heal a lot. That's really the big problem here. You're gonna do that, and I'm just gonna jump over here. Well, that was a little rude. Fuck. Okay. I meant to dodge. Like, duck, even. Sir. And then he's gonna come from the ceiling and try and stomp on me like I'm a Goomba. But I'm not! I'm not a Goomba! He can't stomp on my head! Okay, and then he's gonna do that horrible thing. We'll just let him go off and do that for a minute. Fuck. Just do one of those. I'll just duck. I was too far away. Just too far. Sir, you can't stun lock me like this. Oh my god. Why does he take so long? Well, that's all my flasks. The delays on his tax are what's getting me now. This is doable. I'm drinking my juice. Look, look, look. It takes so fucking long. And for what? Just a tiny sip? Don't get stun locked by this horrible move. Sir. Sir. Okay. Fuck. No! No! Okay. You know what? We got this. This is the run. I've hit the button. You have to go? You have to do? It's rude! There is no time to do anything. Once you get hit by the, like, big fire wave, you're just, it's not fully over unless you have, like, no health, in which case, it's over. But, like, it's rude. Every time. I'm gonna get hit by that every time. On the plus side, we are steadily making our way to having enough points, enough tiers for key. So that's exciting. Okay. I need to get as far away from him as I possibly can when he starts doing that, like, charge move. This thing, so that I'm not jumping too soon, and if I do, I still have a chance to recover. And then... Nope. We'll let him do his two things there. We heal up a little bit. He grabs his sword. And I move! Where are you? When he's on the ceiling would be a good time to use my prayer, I think. Yeah, like now. I wish I had baby prayer. But I didn't want to have to go all the way back to the sleeping canvases. Just to be able to... Yep, we're doing our big one now. But yeah, I didn't want to go all the way back to the sleeping canvases just to get the prayer when man was right here. I was scared. That was the sound of me being scared. Okay, doing that one again. I don't have enough to do my prayer, but that's okay. Doing our charge, so we jump. Just for good measure. Eep, didn't matter. Where did the man go? Rude. Last one. And he's donezo. Please, you can't disappear at the last second. It's fine, he's done. Me calling it just a tiny bit early there, but you know, that time went much better. We only used 3 of our flasks. And we have the last mask now. Our guilt has been gotten rid of. Love to see that. And this means that we should be able to get the rosary knot from Kayshurrr.
Punishment was Kayshurrr, one of the sheltered. He was unjustly condemned to the stake for heresy, and the Inquisitors bore witness to the flames, engulfing his body amidst an atrocious communion of prayers and cries. Still, when it was over, and the flames had died,
Oofa.
a merciful miracle called them forth again, and from them, from the ashes and the embers, the body of Kayshurrr rose anew.
Like a
Full
phoenix.
fiery are the paths of the miracle.
Sure. Doesn't change the fact that he was a right old dick. So, you know. Let's grab this item, please. Key of the High Peaks. That should get us access to Lady of her Charred Visage. Okay, here's the thing. I know I said we were going to be done, now that we've killed the man. But consider... I think this is the last one. I don't know that we need to do this. for ending C. But I would much rather do it and find out it was unnecessary. Ooh, I don't have that many flasks. I should have healed. Also, I see that miasma fog. Let's get rid of that. Equip that. So that's not an issue. That's the only environmental hazard in this one, so we should be okay. I don't have to look out for spikes. I just need to not get hit, you know? Easy as can be. Oh god, it's the Donger brothers. Okay, well, I was saying about not getting hit. It's easy! Also, we got so many points from that last fight. Oh god. Does this count as filling my chalice? It doesn't. Okay. They don't send out a shockwave like I think they do. But I will still dodge them as if they are. Alright, get those guys out of here. Anyone else? Please not you. Literally anyone other than you. Don't understand his hitbox. It makes no sense. Game, he wasn't there. When you said I got hit, he wasn't there. He was feet away from me. It's fine. That one was fairly easy, all things considered. Seashell of the inverted spiral? Ooh. What did we get? Custody of Sin. Wait, that's all the confessors. Confessors complete. Okay, let's not go to the settings menu, preferably. You didn't have to take that step forward when you got up on the platform, my guy. Absolutely did not need to do that. Unnecessary. Let's unlock this shortcut, and then we will probably call it here. Because beating that man took a lot out of me. We'll go to Albero real fast so we can get the rosary knot from the man. Because if I don't, then I will forget. What's the other one that we need? We need the one for Redento. We'll do that real fast. Okay. Scratch that. We're not ending just yet. I need to go get these bits from these people before we call it. What's here? Health upgrade.
Take the last one of these pains of mine, the deepest and
Last upgrade.
Now
Last
depart
health
towards
upgrade.
The cradle of punishment. Oh, penitent one in guilt.
Maximum health has increased. Where are we going? Don't want to go down. What's up here? Oh, it's there. Teleporter? It's true, we do need even more tiny flasks to heal up, but soon! Oh, right, this is the mask. Okay. Mirrored Mask of Dolphus. Perfect.
I awake now from the silver ash that has been my cradle. The miracle calls me.
Alright. Let's go to Albero. Let's go to Albero so I can get the thing from Man. Tirso got shit that I want, and you're gonna give it to me. Alright? Listen here,
the
bucko.
miracle has been merciful to us. As long as this brotherhood has brothers, even if just one, there will be hope for the ill. Take this as a token of gratitude, penitent one in piety.
Rosary not got. Oh, beautiful. You'll love to see it. We need to go see Rodento. But before we do that, I want to go to the ossuary to give the man more bones on the off chance that he's going to give me some tears. Because we did have a few. We got some tears. We got like 4,000 tears. We got like 6,000 tears.
The pale brotherhood of the bones is about to be completed.
How many do we have left?
Do not falter now, penitent one.
How many bones do we have left, actually? Is it the last 4 again? It's the last fucking 4 again. Okay. Those ones will be easier to find because they are named, so we can actually go through the list and be like, oh yeah, we have this one. This one we don't, though. So that's nice. Going up here will put us in endgame territory. We do need to turn in babies. We have to go to the Mother of Mothers, so we can go up to get the Rosary Knot from Redento. Because we're supposed to do that after he's left. I don't remember where you find him afterwards. Oh, we want to go to Mother of Mothers, because that's the closest. Even though it's technically very far, it's the most direct. Again, it's not the amount of like completion that I wanted to get done today, but we have gotten a lot done. I guess I just didn't realize that there were still so many like menial tasks that we had to do. They were all very important and necessary. We needed to get them done. But also so many little things. I like it when the man slides up the stairs. Where am I going? Oh, right, it's in the center. Okay. It's like, I know I need to go up, but what I was expecting was not here. Fuck. Everyone leave me alone! Holy shit! Woof! Redento? Oh. Hey, I found Redento. We got the Knot of Rosary rope. Is that the last one? We have the 2. I really liked Redento. I was genuinely a bit devastated when I found out he died. Like, you kinda know it's coming. Nothing good ever happens to any of these characters. It's all bad all the time for all of them. That's just sort of how it is in Custodia, right? Surprise, religion breeds fear and guilt and misery, is the moral here, if you'd missed that. But he was so nice. We liked Redento. He just wanted to go for his long walk. And then he got to the end of his walk and was like, well, fuck. Okay, we should go to the library. Find a shrine there. No, we should go to the Brotherhood of Silent Sorrow. I can get those last 2 rosary spots. Nope, I always go up 1 too many. Ma'am? Finish out my rosary.
Do you have...
I do. Okay, and I'm not gonna skip this one. I did just get the achievement for getting the maximum number of rosary bead slots.
The mysteries of your rosary are now complete. My task is complete, although my sins have now become unforgivable as a result. I do not know where I will go, but I am sure that it will not be to the other side of the dream.
Ma'am, what do you mean? Well...
My body of blue flame is being extinguished.
Sad. She was just helping me, though. Alright, well, let's get rid of Weight of True Guilt, because we don't need that anymore. Everything sucks real bad. Provide some protection against all element, or, yeah, some against all... because we're planning on going into... Great protection against magical. Since we're planning on going into Mourning and Havoc at some point. Do lightning and... is that... just offers protection. Okay. We'll do the amethyst for magic damage. Perpetua's thing for lightning. And the wheel for just to move slightly faster. I'm happy with that as a loadout for the time being. Last we need to do, still need to finish Echoes of Salt. It's bad there. It's not as bad there. I'm gonna put us up at... go back to the convent of the Lady of the Charred Visage, so that next time we can... why am I here? Next time we can do the chalice stuff. Be done with that. And then finish out the last couple of bosses. We'll get the key from the lady as well. Please. Where was she? Was she in the Sleeping Canvases? Feels right. Well, we'll have to kind of go down that general way anyhow for... fuck. Did I go this way? I did. Sorry, I've like... my brain has just fully shut down now. It said, no, we're done. I do want to get to a shrine. Just so that we're there and ready to go for next time. Which should be Wednesday. Barring any sort of, you know, me feeling like garbage or things coming up like they do. But yeah, 1 or 2 more streams. We'll see how the bosses go. But I think that's all for today, because I am suddenly very hungry. And I desperately need to get my ears blown out by some excuse me, by some stuff. It's fine. Yeah, progress. We're doing it. I mean, a lot of this was like achievement hunting, just because I wanna get through it. I wanna do it. I'm like very motivated to get it done, but some of these requirements are wild. Plus, I don't know. I'm having fun kind of just showing off some of the stuff. So, we'll see. yeah, we'll do more Blasphemous next time I stream. Unless I suddenly decide that that's not the case. But let's find somebody to read into. Because it is about that time. Let's see. There's a lot of people on right now. Oh boy. Chu doing Our Life. I think that's more dating sim stuff. Nimbly doing Fae Farm, which is a very Nimbly game. Collyplum's doing some D&D. And then a Ravenloon doing Wandering Sword. Dot doing some retro stuff. Looks like a week of Garfield? Excuse me, what's happening over with Dot? I'm gonna have to go say hi to Dot if there is Garf happening. What is it? There's a Garf game happening. Alright, so we're gonna go raid Dot. There are the raid messages if you're gonna attend. It's sure is Garf out. Sorry, this is wild. It is a week of Garfield for the Famicom, it looks like. And we love Dot. Dot's great. So, yeah. We'll see y'all next time. I'm gonna go get some food and watch Dot, live in Garf hell. We'll see. Take care of your dang selves. We'll see y'all next time, friends. Bye.